move on to gardening. So inside every seed is the potential for an incredible garden, and that potential grows even more if you do what Carson Arthur tells you to do. He joins us now from the greenhouse to help us get seeding. Hey, Carson, you're not in the greenhouse, you're out in the garden, which is gorgeous. You say the first thing we need to know is that not all seeds are planted the same. Tell us.
Tracy, I'm going to get on a rant here. I mean, gardening season has started. I'm getting all these posts on social media showing how to plant seeds, and it is not true. So I'm going to set the record straight today with you and the audience.
Okay, well, tell us all about it. Do you want to start with beets, and then you can tell us the right way to plant the beets?
Yeah, absolutely. So beets, radishes, carrots, I am a straight line gardener, and it's the OCD in me for these guys. I always want to plant it in a straight line, and I'm going to show you why. So I've got a little tool here. Now I have just a simple chunk of wood. I've got my measurements already down on it. I like to put it down in the garden like this, and I work it in, and perfect, I have a straight line ready to plant in. It's the simplest thing, and now I'm going to plant seeds directly into my straight line. When I do my second row, this is where it gets very important. You want to space your straight line a little bit further apart. And I'm going to pull up my hoe here to show you why. If you space it far enough apart, you can actually get in with the hoe for weeding. Weeding in straight lines is so much easier than if you plant in clusters or scatter. The other thing that people get wrong all the time is when they put down seeds, they don't know what's growing where. And if it's in a straight line and you get all these little baby seedlings coming up, it's very easy to say, oh, that is the row that I planted, and you can pull out all the other weeds around it without disturbing the plants that you're looking forward to growing.
Okay, lots of evidence that a straight line is the way to go. It also looks so beautiful that way. Okay, talk to me about cucumbers. How do we plant our cucumbers?
All right, now cucumbers, squash, all of the plants that they talk about needing, a drier soil or well-drained soil, this is the simple trick. I do what's called a mounding technique. So for my cucumbers, I like to mound, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to grab my garden rake here, and I actually pull soil into the center to create a big hump. And the reason I do this is now every time when I water the garden, all the water runs down the side. It doesn't sit there. Cucumber, squash, they don't like when their roots get wet. So now I'm going to plant directly on top, and I'm going to show you how I do it here. Pull out some seeds. I like to plant on a mound that's about 2 feet across. I will plant 5 or 6 seeds, and I just plant them in just like that in a nice circle around the top of the mound. Now, as they grow, the cucumbers will cascade over the side, but more importantly, the roots will stay well drained because the water will never build up on top of the mound. Just like that. Perfect. Leave that for the whole summer, and you'll have more cucumbers than you know what to do with.
Did you just learn that by doing it, Carson, over time? Is that just trial and error?
So this is an actual method that was passed down from my grandmother. And then I started sharing it, and more people chimed in saying it's the way their grandparents did it too. And it works. I believe in it. Trust Grandma when in doubt.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Grandma knows what's up. We always trust Grandma. She knows. Okay, let's move on now. You're going to be doing some planting with tape. So explain to me what you're planting and how that works.
So I like to make my own seed tape, but a lot of seed companies are now actually producing seed tape for gardeners. And I'm going to open it up here. And what seed tape looks like is actually seeds on a roll, and it kind of looks like this. It's a very soft, fibrous roll of just what looks like paper towel or even toilet paper. And when you're doing seed tape, obviously it is in a straight line. So I use my same tool to create a trench. And the seed tape just goes down just like this. What's brilliant about it is it's already perfectly spaced. So now you could just rip off the tape here and fill it in, and I immediately have a row of seeds, specifically small ones, planted in the space, and we're done. So it's that easy. So when in doubt, if you can get seed tape or make your own, this is a huge advantage for fast planting in the garden each season.
And then that tape is just like biodegradable, right? It goes away?
Exactly. It dissolves straight into the soil, and it is a natural material, so it will actually feed your seeds at the same time.
Very cool. Okay, now what if you want to plant multiple seeds at a time? What do we do?
A lot of people talking about square foot gardening and condensing space, and I'm a huge fan. Now this is called a seeding square, and what you do is you use the colored holes to plant specific types of seeds. So in this case, you'll notice the blue holes, those are for bush beans. So what you do is you would put your seeding square down, and you would plant 1, 2, 3, 4 beans, and then you lift it up, you move it down, and now let's say you want to plant lettuce right beside your beans. So yeah, lettuce is yellow, so we're going to fill all the yellow holes with lettuce seeds. Then we're going to lift it up, and we're going to continue moving on. It's condensed gardening at its best. It maximizes the amount of space you have in a way that gives you the perfect separation between your plants.
So many awesome tools out there to help gardeners and make it so easy for all of us. So I know you had one last tip you wanted to share with us. What's that, Carson?
I did.
There's
It's
the
about
rooster.
potatoes, not just seeding.
Are you going to have a shot?
There's the rooster.
We heard the rooster.
later. So when you're planting potatoes, you want to make sure that each potato has what's called an eye, and that's the growth. And you can see this potato has a set of eyes right here and another one here. So what I like, there he is again, everybody drinks. So I like to cut my potato. So now each one of these will grow a plant. Each plant can grow up to 15 to 20 pounds of potatoes just from this little start. So maximize your potatoes, cut them into segments so that you have an eye on each one, and I promise you'll have lots of potatoes to share with your roosters, apparently.
And do you hear the roosters like, you're done, time's up, stop it, stop talking, look at me, look at me. There you go. I love it.
That's my life.
Yeah, no, that rooster's very much like me. Carson, thank you so much for that. He's going to be back later with tips for getting a perfect lush